The latest portfolio calculator has been updated. Here is the 200K portfolio. It's in a 47,927 drawdown. We started this already when it was already in a drawdown right in here, and we transitioned to another portfolio, or from another portfolio, and we've traded this the last 3 days. It is down 11,277 since we started trading it, and so down about 40K from based on our transitions, or about 20% in the 200K portfolio. And a lot of these portfolios are struggling. Probably one of the most stable portfolios is the 50K portfolio. Sometimes you have to click save to update this, and it's updating right now. But it has a its worst case drawdown is held through a lot of these. A lot of these portfolios have struggled and gone through worst case drawdowns. I'm going to show you why in a minute. But if you look at this one's held. Very cyclical nature. This worst case drawdown is held, so it's one of the strongest portfolios in our portfolio setup. The stock index portfolio has also held up during this time. And you can see the drawdowns here. This is updated through September the 14th, 2021. Here's the drawdown curve. And it's held its worst case drawdown through all this chop. And here is, I want to show you, I'm going to do a save as, and I'm going to save this as a download scratch. So if we look at, say, the 200K portfolio, and we look at it by sector, I'm going to expand this list so you'll see the trading strategies. If we just remove gold, I want to show you the difference here. I'm going to remove gold. And we go up and we see 31,927 out of 28. So it's not at a worst case drawdown today. It made a worst case drawdown recently, but this drawdown curve looks much better. It's wide. It's been a while since it's made an equity peak. But gold has been a huge culprit in our trading. We talk about the indexes a lot, but gold has really done it to us. And I'll show you some of the trades. You see Asia Gold for today hitting that stop loss and then bouncing, and then the inflation CPI report came out. It went a little lower and then bounced again. And we've had this is a long only strategy we've had, and it's just kind of had about 0% winners lately since this time frame in mid-August, and before that it's had losers as well. Asia Gold for 2020 as well. Even though we're in an uptrend in gold from this point, this long-only strategy has lost. The short-only strategy has lost as well. This looks like a market that's rolling over and should break down, but then it rallied again. And so the short side has lost. We have Cobra Gold that's really struggled as well. You see this pretty good entry, continuation pattern, but it pulls back, hit our stops, and then rallies. And so it's been a hard market to trade. Gold is probably the most worthless market of the year. If I give you the most worthless market of the year is from an investment perspective, long-term holdings, and from a trading perspective. Very difficult market, gold, silver, and so precious metals are the dog of the year per se. NQ Breakout 2 is this strategy right here. It's really struggled lately. So getting those breakouts and rollover stop, getting the breakout. Stopped out down here, big bounce after it was stopped out. Same thing here. Stopped out and it bounced pretty good. It would have gotten stopped out again anyways because it rolled over again, but the market is really bouncing. So those are a couple of reasons why our strategies like 200K portfolio are struggling. Also, we talked about how there were 12 moves. For example, here's PR breakout. Let's look at the 24-hour chart. There's probably about 12 moves in this market today, significant moves. And so you can't always, it's hard to define these sometimes to know if you talk about a filter, if it's going to be choppy. The VIX isn't really that high, and so oftentimes volatility is defined by VIX, but we have 1 move, 2 moves up, 3, 4, you can almost have a second one there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So about 12 moves in this market. This was the channel in the night session. This is at 5 p.m. Central till 4 p.m. Central the next day is the 24-hour session. And so about 8 moves during the day, 12 moves in the total market. That's pretty extreme. Pretty extreme. These moves are, some of these moves are about 120 points, 140 points. Some of them are more narrow, but they're significant V reversals. And to get these V reversals, you pretty much have to pick tops and bottoms. It's hard to pick these. In retrospect, you could probably put an indicator on there at the end of the day and fit it, but the next day it's going to be different for the most part. The cycle and the amplitude of these moves are, I don't see a pattern in them yet. Still looking for that. I've been looking at. I was up in the night, couldn't sleep, trying to figure out how to capture these types of moves. But it's really hard to capture V moves that reverse a lot. So let's look at the portfolio calculator again. So if we take out the gold strategies, it looks a little better. Still down, still in a drawdown, still down on the month. What if we take out 60-minute breakout B and the NASDAQ? This wild strategy that's chopping us up. So this is one thing you can do. And it's really good, actually. Really good results. Just the gold and that NASDAQ B strategy would do much better. So sometimes you have a few strategies that really. I still don't like this drawdown curve though. It's a little bit not cyclical. It separates from that, and it came back here and then it went down. It's been a while. It's kind of done this before here. Kind of did that right here, and then it came back. So maybe we're on the cusp of a recovery, and so it's hard to cut strategies that are drawdown. If you have that many consecutive losing days, typically you're due for a big 5-figure bounce. So that's what we're waiting on. We hit 10 consecutive losers a day in this portfolio. I'm doing the undo button here to show you to put those strategies back in. So we have our portfolio here now, and max consecutive losing days was 9. We've hit 10 now, and let's see, I'm not sure why it's not registering 10, but we've hit 10 losing days in this set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 47K. Let's look also, if you just look at the ES strategies, I'm going to pause the video and show you just the ES strategies. Actually, here's all the stock index strategies. So if you just look at the stock, ES, and NASDAQ, this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to look at just the ES strategies. I'm going to take out the NASDAQ. And just the ES strategies, you're close to an equity peak. So ES is one of our strengths. Here is the equity curve. You don't have the diversity, so you get some longer cycles of drawdowns. And you're only down 375 on the month. And it's made at least 40,000 a year since 2015 with just the ES. So the ES is not as crazy as gold or NASDAQ, but you don't have as much market diversity. So those are some ways to break it down. I'm going to put the commodity markets back in there, and then we can look at just the commodity markets. We did that this weekend. Here's what it looks like without the E-mini S&P. Just a breakdown in the NASDAQ and commodities all at the same time. And before it was very cyclical, very good pattern. We've been trading it all year, and it's just it's given us a tough time. In September, you see the results here with just the NASDAQ and commodities. And let's just take out the NASDAQ now and see what it looks like. And so with just the so we're right here. This weekend we were right here. We just made this worst case drawdown with the commodity markets and not the stock indexes. Let's take a look. 26,077 today, and so we were looking for that. And we've had 10 consecutive out of 9, and we just had this breakdown here. And I'm going to give it one more day to bounce. I'm not sure if it will, but you always hate to take it. You always hate to stop, and then the day you stop, it just has a major recovery. So we're going to give it one more day to bounce, and then probably reduce some of the risks by cutting some of these markets like gold and maybe some of the other commodity markets. But that is the update on the portfolio calculator. Challenging trading times. You've been trading since the beginning of the year. On some of these, you're still up. And so you have that cushion. If you recently started trading, it's been challenging to start right now, right when the market goes into worst case drawdown. So it's important to manage your risk around that.